Cheers and welcome. I'm Casper and I will be presenting this. I have been suffering something with my head, so I can't read my notes, so I'll get some help for that.
Roussel from Speechify. And in general, I have a better voice than Casper, that hopeless human. Je ne parlerai qu'en anglais, mais c'est un choix, pas une obligation. That's fine, Roussel, but let me get started at least. The presentation is in agreement with Chanarong in Tashonfu. Key, I know quite a lot about AI building, but also the practice, so I will give you, students, a few hints to get better responses from your AI prompts/questions.
I just wanted to show you a very simple thing to begin with. You ask questions, sometimes called prompts, and it will answer, sometimes called a response. So here, how many live along Hudson Bay? And as you can see, it gives an answer. The question I asked to was for the ChatGPT, and here I asked the same questions again, exactly the same question again, and it gave me a different answer, as you can see. Not a significantly different answer, but this time here there was no pictures or anything like that. It's quite common that when you have a short question, it will differ more. And I just wanted you to know that as students and want to depend a bit of asking things, try to ask the same question several times. That means copying your question and paste it several times just to see what kind of responses you get, because even asking 3 times, if they're very different, you know that your question is too simple, and if they just use slightly different words but still is the same, you know that your question or prompt is okay. So I just wanted to show something different. We'll start with the same as before, something simple. I want to make hummus. Do you know how to make it? Is what I ask. And indeed, it knows how to make it, it says. But my point here is that it, as before, you could ask it several times and it would give different answers. But I'll show you a different way to approach this kind of issue. I just wanted to show you a different example, but I'll let Russell try to say that for you, or for me.
But you can add information on what kind of response you want. And if you type response and type in the square begin and square end, followed by the actual type description, the AI does not try to answer that, but actually tries to make a response that satisfies that instruction.
So, as he says, it is important that you can actually not only ask it a question, but also tell it what kind of response you want back. And that is actually something which is useful to know. And it tends to be possible with these capital letters. And as you can see, it's possible to add several of these capital letters instructions. So this time here I asked it to make a step-by-step instruction how to make my hummus, so that is possible as well. So it's not just restricted to one of these capital things, but you can actually have several of those. I just wanted to show you a different thing. I've said before that the precision of your prompt actually matters. So this time here, rather than just saying how many live along Hudson Bay, I asked a lot larger question, which I'll just have Russell read for me.
How many live along Hudson Bay? I am in particular interested in the number of people living in villages with more than 2,000 people, the number of villages with more than 2,000 people. If the village is on a river, please tell me how far that village actually is from Hudson Bay. In addition, I am interested in the number of people who live on the largest village. And please include the year this information comes from.
So, as you can see, it was a lot larger question, and I'm going to show you a few of the answers. This slide here shows several things. First, it shows that I am asking ChatGPT about the question I just showed on the previous slides. It takes itself 4 minutes and 21 seconds to answer it, so it took quite a long time. And as you can see, it went on the web and read about 175 different web pages in order to give me the right answer. So this is one of the kind of things you get from asking a more complex question or prompt. And if you have one of those AI memberships that you pay, I can't remember, it's about $20 a month, then it actually goes in and reads a lot. So here it read 175 different web pages and summarized them into what is on the slides here. If you actually are interested, just pause this thing here for a while and you can read it. It seems to be fairly obvious, not obvious, but fairly true, since I've looked up several of these examples, but not 175 though. So I just wanted to show you that there is actually some things that you can ask and you get better responses, and you might actually have to have a slightly better than just the free thing. If you're a university student, it might not be ChatGPT but something else, but the answer strategy is about the same. As you can see, I asked the same questions again. Actually, you can't see it, but I tell you. This time I asked Grok. It was only 4 minutes, nearly. I have checked some of its answers as well, and it seems to be formulated differently, but basically the same answer. And this AI was using nearly 150 different web pages to look up on. So, as I said, it is not only ChatGPT who can do this, it is something most of them can do if you have the right way of asking them to do something that is rather complex. So that was just my point here. So trying to ask complex prompts or questions, you can take as a good input to actually getting started with something. So that was my key point here. Of course, you have probably also experienced that if you get an interesting question, you can then start having a conversation where you ask it to deepen out in particular area within this or something like that. And sometimes there you have to remember that you have then a tendency to ask a short question and expect it to continue the conversation. It is true, but if you pause and formulate your next question as large as I just showed you, you get a much better and much more trustworthy response. So just don't think that you are chatting with a clever guy or girl, but with an AI, which is not a human being. I call them aliens because they are sort of a science fiction thingy for me. But if you actually formulate a long, detailed question, you get a long, detailed response. The next couple of slides are on a completely different topic, and that is with chat history. So when you ask a question and it gives you a response, you ask a continuous of that question and it gives you a response. That is a normal thing to do. Then something happens, you go off for a cup of coffee, etc., and then a couple of hours later you might return and open, and it's in a new chat history. What's the difference between these two is what this one here is about. So on the left side there is your chats, and one of them is Ginger Cat something. And I asked it, I have a cat named Ginger, what does that mean? And it explains to me something. And the important thing is not what was going on there, but of what I'm going to show you on the next slide. If you take a look to the left side again, you can see that there is now started a new chat history. It is in capital or a marking, and you can see below it, it says Ginger Cat, and now it says cat name. And I asked it, do you know the name of my cat? And it says it doesn't know. And that is because we are now in a different chat history. And from one history to another, they do not know what we talked about even a few minutes ago if you change it. Okay? So there is that. Then there is another question that comes up, and I ask it, do you know the name of my dog? And it says yes, and the two dogs are named Vax and Chep, and that is true. So what on earth is going on? What on earth is going on is that I am suffering from having spent too much time with ChatGPT, and I have been talking about my dogs way too much, and it has been embedded into its understanding of the fundamental question of who is Casper, and it will remember some things, and which things it will remember, it's hard to know. So there is an issue there. And then there is something that I asked
So, I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, feel free to write me an email and ask a question. Best winter wishes from Russell and Casper.